you clicked on this video, a few things are probably true. 1. You feel trapped. Maybe in your body, your mind, or your situation. 2. You're not interested in giving up all control just because life got cruel. 3. You're curious. Curious enough to still look for something that helps. Something that keeps you human. And 4. You have internet access. Which means you have access to more knowledge, tools, and ideas than most people in history ever did. That matters more than it sounds. Because when we talk about freedom, what we're really talking about is opportunity. Freedom gives people access to education, travel, exposure, relationships, love, work, creativity, and growth. And when freedom is limited by poverty, illness, abuse, disability, or circumstance, it can feel like life itself has been paused. As someone who has experienced being trapped, I see freedom as something that gives us access. And access can take more than one form. You may not be able to live freely on the outside right now, but that does not mean your inner life has to shrink. So let's talk about how people enrich themselves when they are free, and how many of those same forms of enrichment still exist in alternative ways. Quietly, privately, safely, completely on your own terms. Let's begin with travel and exposure. When people talk about travel, they usually mean movement, planes, trains, new cities, new landscapes. But the deeper value of travel isn't movement, it's exposure. It's seeing how other people live, how they think, what they value, and what they struggle with. And exposure can still happen without physical travel. You can watch documentaries that take you inside countries, cultures, conflicts, and daily life. Not tourist versions, but actually real ones. You can follow long-form travel vlogs that show you how people actually live, eat, work, and survive across the world. You can explore museums, landmarks, and environments through virtual tours and 3D live cameras. There are live cameras in cities, forests, beaches, and even places like Eden Project, where you can navigate and explore environments in real time just with a click of a button. The Eden Project is my favorite. You can study geography, history, architecture, and culture in depth, not just where places are, but why they are the way they are. You may not be moving your body across borders, but your perspective still can. And perspective is what travel was always meant to give you. Now let's talk about meeting people and human connection. Another thing that freedom gives people is a chance to meet others, different personalities, backgrounds, ideas, and ways of being human. And yes, nothing fully replaces physical presence. I understand that. But connection is not only physical, connection is psychological and emotional recognition. You can meet people through books, not shallow characters, but real human beings from history, different countries, different eras, different struggles. Biographies let you live inside another person's mind. Novels let you explore emotions, conflicts, and relationships you've never had access to. And poetry lets you look directly into another person's soul. You can form meaningful online friendships, not surface level interactions, but long conversations, shared interests, and shared growth. People fall in love through letters, people build lifelong friendships through words, people find understanding in places they never expected. Connection isn't about proximity, it's about being seen and seeing others clearly. What about education and intellectual growth? This is probably the easiest one. Formal education is often treated as something only available to the free, the wealthy, or the physically able. That is no longer true in this world. There are open university degrees available online, Coursera courses taught by top universities. I've had a few of them and they're amazing. There are Udemy courses for practical real-world skills. I love to explore them. And free lectures, academic papers, and libraries, all online. You can study philosophy, psychology, history, science, economics, literature, languages, art and technology, and so much more, often at a depth deeper than a traditional classroom. You can educate yourself slowly, carefully, safely, without any pressure or comparison, all in your own time, probably from your own bed. Knowledge builds inner independence. It gives you language for your experience. It helps you think clearly instead of reacting blindly. Education isn't about credentials alone. It's about understanding the world well enough that it stops confusing and controlling you. For me, education became something to hold on to while I waited. Now let's talk about love and emotional richness. Freedom allows people to date, fall in love, form relationships, and explore intimacy. But love is not only romance, it never was. Love is also deep emotional understanding, attachment to ideas, people, and meaning, feeling connected to life itself. You can experience emotional richness through art, music, writing, poetry, and stories that open your emotional range. You can learn about healthy love, attachment, boundaries, and psychology, especially if you were never shown these things in real life. Khalil Gibran has taught me more about the above than any in-person interaction ever has. And in his words, let there be spaces in your togetherness. Distance really might not be as bad as we think. You can write letters you never sent, you can journal honestly, you can feel deeply without being consumed. And yes, some people do find romantic love online, slowly, safely, and intentionally. But even beyond romance, cultivating emotional depth keeps you human in environments that try to numb you. Now, what about work, skills, and economic agency? One of the most damaging effects of feeling trapped is the belief that you are economically useless or dependent. That belief is often false. Work can now happen online, skills can be earned privately, income can be built quietly. There are platforms like Fiverr and Upwork where people sell their skills: writing, editing, design, research, tutoring, voice work, organization, and so much more. There are skills that you can learn online and then sell online. Careers now begin on YouTube, TikTok, blogs, podcasts, and online communities. People build audiences from their thoughts, experiences, and skills, and many times without ever revealing their identities. You can learn how to make things, you can learn how to sell things, you can learn how to market, write, teach, or create, all from the comfort of your own home. And I say none of this to undermine how challenging it can be to work like this. But then I'm not here assuming that you're a feeble human. Even small progress restores dignity. Economic agency isn't about becoming rich. It's about knowing you can contribute and build value. What about the well-being of your body and your mind? When you're trapped physically or environmentally, the body often becomes neglected or punished. But movement and care can still exist. There are free exercise programs online for strength, flexibility, rehabilitation, trauma-informed movement, gentle recovery. There are meditation practices that help you reclaim control over your attention and nervous system. Learning how your mind works, how stress, trauma, and focus operate gives you power where chaos once lived. You may not control everything around you, but you can influence your inner climate, and that matters more than people realize. You can become the thing that damage bounces off, not gets absorbed in. Now let's talk about creation and meaning. Freedom gives people the chance to create. But creation does not require freedom, it requires expression. You can write books, keep private journals, you can write essays, poetry, reflections, and read deeply and widely. You can cook recipes from cultures you've never visited and experiment, learn, and nourish yourself. Creation turns suffering into structure, it turns chaos into something shaped. Meaning doesn't erase pain, but it keeps pain from owning you, from becoming you. And I'd like to end on a personal note here. I write all of this from experience. I have lived through different forms of being trapped. I don't have enough words for the gratitude I feel for the books I read, hiding under the covers using the small light trimmer pen. Shopaholic series became my ultimate pleasure. For YouTube interviews with people who knew adversity and made it through. For solitude that, while lonely, gave me the chance to look inward and understand who I was and what I was made of. And for online opportunities that helped me complete my education. These things didn't save me, but they definitely sustained me. I do want to say that I say all of the above, but I know that none of this replaces real freedom. And I won't insult you by pretending that it does. But your inner life does not have to collapse just because your outer world is limited. You are allowed to grow quietly. You are allowed to enrich yourself privately. You are allowed to build depth while you survive. This isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about refusing to become empty, a hollow version of yourself. Protect what's still yours, your attention, your curiosity, and your capacity to grow.